My 2016 was alright. Came to an abrupt and garbage ass ending, but it seems like a lot of you guys had a terrible 2016. So let's ride that train and talk about my biggest gaming disappointments of 2016. The holidays are over, and I know you got all those American Express gift cards. Will, hit me with that Loot Crate! God damn it! Loot Crate is a subscription service where you get all these geek and gamer items to your door, they're random every month. And it's pretty cheap too, you get stuff like this. This is one of them that came in the last one. If you go to lootcrate.com/wolfden and use the promo code wolfden, you will get 10% off your first crate. We did an unboxing of the December crate on last week's Wolfden Live. You can click right here to see that if you want to see what was in last month's crate. Lootcrate.com/wolfden, promo code wolfden, 10% off your first crate. Now I'll disclose again that this is my list, not your list. You might like some of the things on this list for other reasons, and that's totally fine. I also haven't played every game in the world, so if there's some games that aren't on this list that you might have played and been disappointed by, you should just leave it in the comments below. I've talked about pretty much all of these videos on the Wolf Den before, so I'm going to be linking the relevant Wolf Den videos up on the top right corner of the screen right there. You can wait till the end of the video, they'll all still be there, but throughout the video, you'll see this little eye pop up and it'll come out and it'll say the relevant video that's there for that particular game. And we will start with Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Me and Will were huge Mirror's Edge fans. It was a nice change of pace amidst all of the other first-person shooters that were out at the time. Not to mention, the art style was fantastic. Mirror's Edge Catalyst was something that we were super hyped on. They were making changes to the original formula, but fair changes. No more gunplay. There's no place for that in a Mirror's Edge game. They claimed that anything would be climbable. There'd be no reason to highlight things in red if they were climbable objects. And because of that, the game would be open world. Well, guess what? They still fucking highlight things in red, and the open world sucks dick. There's quests and side missions like this is some kind of RPG. Not every game needs RPG elements. Not every game needs to be open world. You have to unlock the parkour role in this game. It's just not fun. Major disappointment for me. My distaste for The Division is like a meme on this channel. It's probably my biggest disappointment of 2016. I was super hyped on it. I'm a huge Tom Clancy fan, not the author, just the games with his name slapped on them. This is a tactical MMO-style Tom Clancy game set in my backyard. It sounds perfect. At E3 2015, I waited 2.5 hours to play it. I played it, and it felt really weird. It had all of the weird jankiness of a typical Ubisoft game. I was a little bit disappointed, but hopeful that the game would come out and me and my friends would still have a great time with it. The game came out, and wouldn't you know it, I couldn't even play with my friends because they were too high of a level. And all of the enemies would scale to their level no matter what missions we picked, or who the fire team leader was. It's a multiplayer game that you literally can't play with your friends. And I'm not just being dramatic. If an enemy was just 2 levels higher than you, you would do literally 0 damage. And when I finally matched the level of my friends because they got frustrated with the game and I tried to grind to just hit their level, if one of them leveled up mid-match, all of the enemies would still level up. So if you play with your friends, no matter what, somebody's going to be left behind and do no damage to the enemies and be completely useless. This multiplayer-only game was absolutely unplayable as a multiplayer game. A lot of people liked Firewatch, and I completely understand why. It's a gorgeous game, but that's pretty much where the buck stops. The narrative was interesting, and that's pretty much all you get in a narrative-driven game. But the ending was unfulfilling. Now, I love me some good visuals, and Ollie Moss did a fantastic job with the visual design in this game. But I also love me some solid game mechanics, and Firewatch didn't really have any. Its core game mechanic was choosing dialogue options, and they didn't even impact the story in a meaningful way. The same series of events would happen no matter what dialogue options you chose, and the game didn't do a good job of hiding that. I was all like, nah, you know what? Don't light this dude's camp on fire because that would be messed up. Then guess what? The game lights the dude's camp on fire because your input doesn't mean jack shit. Mighty Number 9 was disappointing to me for a unique reason. This was the first game I ever kickstarted all the way back in 2013. I was excited for a new Mega Man-esque style game. You probably already know that it came out this year and it was panned by pretty much everybody. I didn't get to play it because I'm sitting over here waiting for my Vita version, which still hasn't come out yet, and honestly will probably never come out because why would they waste their time? They already have my money. I mean, I've got the PS4 cross-buy, but like, that's not what I wanted. I wanted it on my Vita. Damn it. I got to play the new Starfox at E3 in 2014. I waited online for about an hour and a half, and the motion controls were not good. Why in God's name would I want to look down at the gamepad and then back up and then down at the gamepad and then back up and then down and then back up? Plus, it's not exactly intuitive to move the whole entire giant gamepad around. When I was done with the demo, the Nintendo rep asked what I thought, and I told her, I don't know, it was very difficult with those motion controls. And she said, oh, we could have calibrated them for you. You could have held the gamepad a little higher and would have just calibrated it to be higher. First of all, that would have been nice to know. Second of all, you should just have the option to turn them off, period. The game came out this year, and I heard that they never changed the controls, so I passed. And it was panned by critics, and I think I dodged a bullet. Now, I told all y'all motherfuckers that No Man's Sky wasn't gonna be the big game to end all games. I told you that it was gonna be some weird kind of indie shit. Personally, I wasn't that disappointed. I followed the development very closely, and I saw the writing on the walls. I enjoyed it for what it was, but a lot of people felt duped. And I understand why. It was kind of a little bit messed up for Sean Murray to lie about the multiplayer aspects, specifically. If this was a game that you were disappointed with, I recommend that you look into the new update that just came out. There might be some things in there that you would like. Okay, we're done talking about games, but there's still more disappointments in 2016. The NES Classic also came out this year and was sold out everywhere and is still impossible to get. Nintendo and their managed scarcity is getting a little bit out of hand. If you want the Nintendo Switch, you better get those pre-orders in ASAP. I know that pre-ordering things sends a bad message, but pre-ordering hardware is pretty much a necessity, especially when it comes to Nintendo hardware. The PS4 Pro came out this year, and there are not many games that support the 4K upscaling. Some games like Final Fantasy 15 actually look worse on the PS4 Pro. I thought this would be something that I need to get, or else my game cache would look so last gen. But hey, you know what? That's $400 in my pocket, so I guess that's kind of a win. Lastly, on this completely unorganized list is YouTube. For just randomly unsubbing people. There's been a huge epidemic of YouTube just unsubbing people from certain channels, or just not showing you certain YouTube channels' videos in your subscription feed. So, do me a little favor. If you like these videos, obviously make sure you're subscribed, and if you are already, click the little bell that's next to the subscription button. That way you can be notified every single time there's a new video or we go live on Wulff Den Live. If you have the YouTube app on your phone, you'll get a little easy to manage notification. That way you don't have to deal with YouTube sending you emails all the time. Or, if you don't want to do that, just follow me on Twitter, and I'll tweet about the new video every single Tuesday when it goes up. And of course, Wulff Den Live every single Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and the archive goes up on Thursday. We're consistent every week, so just know when to be here. Or get reminded with notifications or my Twitter. How about that? So what do you guys think about the disappointments in 2016? What were some of your disappointments? Leave it in the comments below. I'm on Twitter, all this other social media garbage. And I already told you about Wulff Den Live. I already told you about all the videos that we put up every single week. Don't forget to check out the art and all the other videos that are in the cards up there. There's going to be a lot of videos. And thank you guys very much. Have a good week. Ooh, my leg's asleep. God damn.